Good afternoon, Cross Timbers. Today is Thursday, November 15, 2018. I am Everett Mead. Texan football, Far Harvest, and more coming up next on Texan TV. In campus news, last night Tarleton students came to celebrate the lighting of the campus for the holiday season. Students gathered in front of the library and free beanies were given out to students while supplies lasted. The event was put on by SGA, RHA, and TAB. Texan debate will take place today at 7 p.m. against Central Texas College in the Fine Arts Center. The topic is, this House moves that the state of Texas should legalize recreational marijuana. Mackenzie Garza of the Texan News Service reports that the debate director, Christine Phipps, said the topic was chosen due to it being such a prevalent issue for many states and not just because of its stereotypical association with college students. As we saw in the elections, more and more states are starting to seriously consider whether or not they should legalize marijuana. In other campus news, reported by Quinicia Fraser from the Texan News Service, University police disarmed a student who brought a weapon on campus last night. According to a statement from the university provided to Texan News, Tarleton State University police responded to a call for concern of a student's welfare, located the student and his vehicle on campus and disarmed him. Resolved the matter, the location of the incident, the type of weapon the student had, and other details of the situation cannot be confirmed. Prior to this statement given to Texan News, students were not notified about police having to disarm someone on campus. This is a developing story. For local news, now we go to Brittany Upshaw.
After consistent rain and now freezing temperatures, local farmers are beginning to wonder if they'll ever get crops out of the ground. So to answer the question, have this year's weather conditions been abnormal?
Abnormal, absolutely abnormal.
I sat down with Jim Farley of Farley Farm Supply in De Leon, Texas.
Well, basically work has been at almost a standstill.
So what does this mean for our local farmers?
Generally, October and November are heavy harvest times for peanuts, cotton, pecans, and hay's generally over by the end of September, and now we're in mid-November and it's not over, so they have all been affected in a bad way. It's really been too wet to harvest Bermuda grass hay, for instance, where you have a wide enough window of open weather where you can cut it, rake it, and bale it, and get it dry enough to bale without getting another rain on it, which really messes up the quality of the hay. Caution has been thrown to the wind. You've got to get the hay down on the ground before the freeze gets it. And so people have been cutting hay and not really paying any attention to the forecast if they can get across it.
But coastal hay is not the only crop that's been affected by this year's weather conditions.
Peanuts. Totally different scenario. Of course, it's been too wet to get tractors into the field to dig the peanuts. They're ready to be dug. They need to be dug. Now with the freeze coming, the freeze will, you get a freeze on peanuts after you dig them, the price might be cut in half of what you're going to get.
If farmers aren't able to get crops harvested this year, not only does it mean losing an entire year's income, but a shortage of the crops that we've talked about will drive the market value up substantially.
Extremely hot and dry in July and August, and then all of a sudden it starts raining in late September or early October. You get 15 or 20 inches of rain in 6 weeks, and as we've already talked about on these crops, nothing will happen. You can't do anything.
Weather conditions have been unusual. They've not been ideal by any means, but there may still be hope.
As I'm sitting here saying this today, the crops are not all in yet. So you asked me this question around Christmas, and it may be a different answer. I hope I'm wrong on what I'm telling you, but you know, that's the way I see it today anyway.
We all hope he's wrong, but after spending time in the fields this fall, it's not looking hopeful. This has been Brittany Upshaw reporting from De Leon.
And now in state news, the Texas Tribune is reporting that Robert Moreno Ramos was executed by lethal injection on Wednesday evening. Robert's lawyers continue to plead all the way up until the final hour that the case be re-examined for legal violations from 25 years ago. Ramos was convicted of capital murder in March 1993 for the February 1992 killings of his wife and their 2 children in Hidalgo County. For national and international news, we turn to the AP News Minute.
This is AP News Minute. At least 56 people are now known dead in the Northern California wildfire. 130 are unaccounted for. Authorities say the number of homes and other structures destroyed is well over 8,000. Attorney Michael Avenatti is denying allegations of domestic violence after his arrest in Los Angeles. Avenatti is a vocal Trump critic and represents Stormy Daniels, the adult film actress who says she had an affair with the president. Bangladesh says Rohingya Muslim refugees can begin voluntarily returning to Myanmar. Some 700,000 Rohingya fled from violence in their home country, and the UN says it's too soon to go back. And the U.S. is returning 3 large war trophy bells to the Philippines as a gesture of friendship. U.S. soldiers took the bells after an attack on American troops in the Philippines more than a century ago. Mike Hempen, the Associated Press, with AP News Minute.
For today's Texan news, sports news, we go now to Emily Love.
In sports, we are preparing for a huge game this Saturday, as it is the Texans' first playoff game in over 11 years and the first ever NCAA playoff game in Stephenville history. The Texans will face Azusa Pacific football this Saturday at 1 p.m. Because the stakes are so high this game, Tarleton will be selling tickets in Wisdom Gym every day from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Get your tickets and come support the Texans.
Today's weather forecast is mostly sunny with a high of 64 degrees and winds from about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight will be partly cloudy with skies with a low of 39 degrees. This has been a production of Texan TV News, a production of the Texan News Service from the Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas. Watch us live on Apogee Channel 2.1 in the dorms at 12:30 weekdays. If you live off campus, tune in on Northland Cable Channel 9. You can follow the Texan News Service on Facebook and Twitter, and check out our website at texannews.net for all your latest local, state, national, and international news. Today's broadcast was produced by Brittany Upshaw, Brianna Tucker, and Emily Love. Have a wonderful day, Texans.